What it does, what it do. As promised, we promised you with this episode is going to be short in the barber shop, and this is it. If this place is anything short of a barber shop, then I'm sorry, but we are here. Anyways, it's the one and only Brandon Jones with Podcastmalawi, here to engage with the people in the barber shop, because this is where a lot of people talk about things, mislead each other, and also a lot of people learn to be people in the barbershop and the salon. Here today with me is
Collins.
Collins who?
Collins Mosu.
Oh, dope. Collins. I'm Brandon Jones with Podcastmalawi. We're just trying to, interact with people here in the barbershop, just to hear a few tambalas from their heads and see how best we can, reimagine, because this is a podcast series where we are reimagining a lot of things. Today we're talking about masculinity. In your own understanding, how do you understand the term masculinity?
I think masculinity is I don't know how to put it in like a few words, but I feel like masculinity is pride, pride and confidence, and I think that masculinity is pride and confidence.
And confidence.
Yeah.
Are you masculine?
Pardon?
Are you masculine?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. On a scale of 1 to 10, how masculine are you?
I can say like 6.5 to 7.
Are you not a 10? Are you not a 10, bruv?
No.
Okay. Well, there's a lot of factors around masculinity and how people view it. And also as Africa, as in Malawi in general, we have our society beliefs, around masculinity. Do you ever feel like it's a concept that's being misunderstood? If yes, do you have any example at a point where you've been conflicted with the idea of masculinity, more especially based on how people think about it?
I don't think so. I don't think
it's
so.
just straight to the point.
Yeah,
everybody understands it.
Yeah. I think everybody understands.
Mm-hmm.
Coming from my point of view, I think my friends and like other people in this barber shop. I feel like they understand masculinity, and I feel like they're masculine enough
to understand the concept of masculinity. Dope. Also, being a man in Malawi, do you think it is a challenging thing to be, or vibes?
I feel like it's challenging, and it's for the vibes as well. And the challenging parts, I feel like, you know how prices have gone high and all that stuff. Like it's it's very expensive and it's hard to live in Malawi. And on the vibe parts, I feel like it's just for vibes, and you can just have fun in Malawi.
Okay, all right. Okay, now you've touched the topic of prices going up. There's been an issue of devaluation. How do you understand devaluation?
Pardon?
How do you understand when we're talking about devaluation? What can you say about it?
I don't think there's anything I can say on evaluation, but I don't think there's anything I can say about devaluation.
Like the currency of Malawi has been devalued. You don't have anything to talk about.
Yeah, it's a normal thing because the currency it's just been going low. As I heard that the Malawi's economic status dropped down by 44%, and now prices are like going high and all that stuff.
Do you think it's going to directly impact you as a man?
Yeah, I feel like it.
Like what? In what areas?
I don't know, but I feel like that point is gonna be soon. I'm gonna go through it soon.
Yeah. How old are you?
I'm 15.
Oh yeah. That's why. That's why you have a huge ass cushion at home. Your parents are handling everything.
Yeah.
You should ask them how inflation is hitting them now.
No problem.
Yeah, man. Do you love this place? Do you often come here?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love this place because like the barbershop I was going to before, right? Which goes. They weren't as good as this place, but like as soon as I came to this place, I was like, nah, this is going to be the barbershop I'll be going to in Malawi, and like I feel like I can trust these guys more than my previous barbershop.
Dope. How long have you been in Malawi?
Pardon?
How long have you been in Malawi?
Basically my whole life.
Your whole life. Okay, cool. All right, dope. What would you want to say to the people that are watching the show about this place or anything else?
I'd like to say you should come to this place. I highly recommend it. You won't be disappointed, and you can trust these guys any day, anytime, and anywhere.
Okay, dope. So you're still in school?
Yeah, I'm still in school.
Where do you go?
Paramount International Academy.
Dope. What do you want to be after school?
Pardon?
What do you want to study in college? What do you want to study?
Pardon?
What do you want to study in college?
No, I don't want to go to college.
Why?
I don't know, because I think my career is gonna be based off sports and not books and all that.
Okay, cool. What sports are you into?
Huh?
What sport are you into?
Football.
Football.
Yeah.
Dope. So you're the next CR7. Okay. Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem.
Much. Thank you.
Nice to meet you, Brandon.
Nice to meet you too, man. Yeah, man. We out. Yeah, man. As ngine ake ndikukuuzeni boys. Ilezi sinabangeko nkoyamba wanga. Akabandi mera makando kuganizira
ine ndikamamene magona anthu magezo kuna maito dzoti ndimagona tulo ase.
Okay, sorry. Manena kuti tinapanga promise pa Facebook pa chanchani kuti tikhala ndi episode kuyani ku barbershop. Ndi ku barbershop kuko ndikunoko. Mwina mmola ngati barbershop and yani baba kuti barbecue Myers barbershop kometera. This is where we're doing the episode today, and with me is my colleague
Dennis Iman aka
this is why.
ine mene ndimachuluka kwathu ndimakanika kutuluka mpaka Gugu ayimba foni kangati kaya kwadiwe sunatuluka iwe nthamene njaye kamakhala mwana kakungodumphadumpha pa bedi ukangosuntha hapo kayamba kulira abwerera nde.
Does that explain muje maso ako ofira kuti sunakula?
I didn't sleep last night. Of course ibe nadutsira kujeni
makalemelesa
nadutsira kwina ndi kwina koma ndafika pa 10 I think by 3 tinali timadzuka ndipita pa sitting room njamba kona TV basi 3 ndoti makhawe kuti kaka kungo kaponya pansi kamayamba kulira kamafuna kakhale m'manja and m'manja mwakhana static malo amodzi kamalira so yeah.
So like I say as a man of the house,
hey, that sounds the first time I've ever been described as a man of the house.
Man of the house. Unali kumagobo kuna kwake. After that unakapanga wine with my friends, a few drinks and going back at home. So how are you balancing life in general? Would being a man requirement yatu as men the men right?
Yeah.
And then how are you balancing this life thing? Would you have a newborn? My responsibility and then Dambidi.
No, I say it's crazy. It's crazy because like if I tell you how I walked or I moved around yesterday, ndadzuka ma 8.
Yeah.
Ma 8 imo ndadzuzidwa ndi phone call. Phone call yokera ku mitundu. Ndekuti ma guys apha nkhumba.
Yeah.
So for those that know me, they know kuti I sell pork.
Yeah.
That's my side hustle.
Yeah.
Ndi magazi oti apha nkhumba ndizoti kutumiza mukaitengera ku 36. So 36 ndi kwa Masten. Yeah, so I actually went to 36 mama wa ma 8 then ndaitenga ndikangotenga imene inyamuka ivaye kujani ivaye kodula kukata 49 kugaliva. Yeah, so I had to carry it bila nayo kugaliva akudula ndatamanga kuvaya ku 15 ukapanga zosainira zina zake za kunchito tsopano. Yeah, so I had to go kapanga zimene zozo. After that ndabwera kanyamula nkhumba ija ndiri kuyambika ma deliveries pamene popo.
Yeah.
Wamva?
Yeah, ndumva.
Ndiri ndi ma 11 12 kumangovaya atu.
Yeah.
Ma deliveries 1 2 mpaka cha ma 3 mene makwezera dani tamaliza.
Yeah.
So unai aina area 11 area 12 49 ma deliveries apo kwa ameneyo.
Yeah.
After that had to go back home.
Yeah.
Kasamba yanchanchani nde ukangofika ku deni masiku anoma nenda list bill pakufunika chakuti pakufunika chakuti mukamatuluka mukaguleko zakuti. Yeah, so I had to go out jama 4 yeah kuti ndikagula zinthu zomwe anyway it was boys time. Yeah. Kati yotulukira tsopano. Yeah. So spend the whole day with the boys. Again, I had to go back home. Yeah. So you go back there to babysitting now to basit.
The whole time.
Yeah. So you can see the day. It's a bit of everything now. To hustling, work stuff came in,
Being a family person.
and being with the family. It's not the easiest of things, but yeah.
Ndinake.
Yeah.
I say, you know, and then my friend because these are the questions that we're going to be asking people around here.
Yeah.
What do you understand by the term masculinity?
It's a construct. I would call it a construct. I don't know how we constructed it, whether it's mentally or societal or biological, but it has to do with biological. By you being a man, yeah, probably there will people who start looking at your biological makeup first, and then once they discover what makeup we got bad, there are things that the society builds around you, or they get you to be that. So the fact that you are born like that, you assume my responsibilities and I get from that moment.
From that moment, yeah.
So the things that your parents or your guardians or whoever will bring to you are going to be different from if you were born with a different biological makeup, if you were born a female. So you just carry that responsibility from a tender age and you grow with it. Mpaka kuzafa. And part of that is you taking up the responsibilities now of being the leader, the provider, the one who goes to look for whatever. Us as human, we could say, yeah, we need to balance these things. But for me, I don't argue a lot with nature.
Yeah.
And when you look at the animal kingdom, let's say if you look at lions, the way they live, if you look at nkumbas mendukambas, the way you rear pigs, there are some things that the moment you put 4 nkhumba zazimuna nchizunguma lijani nkhumba zazimuna 4 mukhola limoti muli nkhumba zazikazi ziwiri zitatu makha wasokoneza reproduction yawo mene mjama. You put 1 at risk against 5 or 6. And why 1 against 5? It's how nature is. Siringazibange forces mene zijazi kuti zikhale chonchi. It's the way it is. So I think masculinity, it could be a natural phenomenon that it just happens like that. But maybe because of the society, we're trying to balance up some things wrong way, right way.
Would you say, Gudi, the term masculinity or the concept itself, since you said it's a construct, would you say, Gudi, no, we customize it based on maybe society?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Actually, the society plays a bigger role when we are talking about masculinity as it is. It's everything that the people have been accustomed to, they have been talking about, they have been observing, and they actually been imposing it on other people. Even though anabadwa ndi biological makeup women the way they think, the way they want things done, it's not that. They don't want that responsibility. They want soft things. They don't want to assume my responsibilities like that. So, but the society will now disagree with you. They'll tell you, dude, man up. Man up means take up the responsibility. You are meant for this. So, concept of masculinity, being a parent now. Do you think parenting would also lean towards masculinity? Is it necessary? Is it a necessary thing when it comes to raising a family, kids? It is. It is because I used to stay alone for a lot of, probably the rest of my adulthood, and started staying together with my baby mama, my wife to be, my alamanu, like early this year. And everything changed. Everything changed. The way I do things, the way I would look at the house, the way I go out, everything changes. And when a baby comes into the picture, that is just amplified now. Now you assume the responsibility. The bigger responsibility. There are things that I know the mama would be able to do at home. And she's there, she's breastfeeding the baby, she's with the baby almost most of the time and all that.
Yeah.
But the baby needs other things. She needs supplies. She needs vaccines. She needs to go to the hospital for whatever. I have to assume the responsibility to make sure that whenever that is needed, I'm there to make sure that I do that. So, hey, you can't even argue with it. You just have to. And one question that I've been asking myself ever since the baby came into the picture is, how do people deny responsibility of a baby? Probably there are reasons, valid reasons. Things like that. For people that really know, they've been having plain sex with this other woman, and in the same period, this woman falls pregnant. Even though you want to argue, now you need to go and prove that.
You need to be sure.
Or if you're in a relationship and when you deny a baby, I don't know how that works. Because for me, the whole feeling of going home, waking up, looking at this kid, it changes even how your mental construct is. It changes you. You can become stronger, you can become weak, just by looking at
this kid.
Yeah. So having a baby changes everything.
Everything around.
Everything, yeah. So even the way you understand your masculine power, it changes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I remember I had a friend this other day, Timachida, and kunani ku event. So he had his daughter there and the wife, and magazi uri amwe amabwera basi umafuna kuti azisewera ndi mwana uja ntantani, and this guy was furious. And for me, I couldn't understand that. Kuti adawa akulusa cho nchifa chani
anthu angofuna zisakani mwana.
Koma anthu anani oti oledzere, and you didn't know kuti mind mwawo mukuyenda zitani. But the way he was protecting the baby, there was a little girl was running around like 2 years waiting at my end. Yeah, but now I understand. Like every time I look, I'll run from wherever I am just to check on
what's going on.
Yeah, so it's that bond, and it also gives you the power. But you got adrenaline, I think and how when you have your kid,
Then
that changes. You now have like, I need to protect him.
Yeah, true.
Okay.
Okay. I can't deny or accept that, but whatever.
Yeah.
I say, you also mentioned about supplies. That requires money.
Yeah.
Ed,
Yeah.
just a day and a half ago, the Reserve Bank of Malawi announced that kwaja has been devalued up to 44.4%.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
First of all, how do you understand the term devaluation? And
I hope we'll have an economist walk into this barber today, probably to give us a clear understanding of this devaluation thing. Yeah, economics I wouldn't speak as an expert, but what I understand is ndrama zambiri zapadziko lapasi pano, including yathu yakwacha, ikamagwira ntchito is always pegged against the dollar. On chimene ingakwanitse kupanga ndramayo. So dollar ija imayikidwa ngati ka standard kuti zinthu zonse padziko lapasi panopa tikuyenera zigula ndola. Ngati ino muli ndi ndrama ina, mukuyenera mukhale ndi ndrama zokwanira mwakuti kuti ipange dola imodzi. So pali dola imodzi imene tese tingagulire watch ndavalai kuti khozo igula pa dola imodzi. Dola ndi ya ku America. Inuyo ngati mwabwera kokagula ochija kuti ifeyo dolayo tilibe, koma tifuna yochita khala nayo, ndalama zimene tili nazo ifeyo ndizikuma kwacha. Now dola ijilengedwa ngati standard kuti mukuyenera mukhale ndi makwacha okwanira 500 kapena makwacha okwanira 1000 kuti mugule chani ochi. So devaluation in this case is kuti dola ija amakupoyamba mauza ndi mubweretse 500 kuti mutenge watch. Panopa ukapita akuzani kuti mubweretse 850 kwacha. Kusonyeza pa 500 paja mukaonjezerepo 350 kwacha kuti mutenge watch yomweyo imene mmaitenga ngati pa dola. Yeah. So it's kukuzani kuti ndalama yanu imphamvu yake yatsika. Mukuyenera mukhale ndi zambiri kuti muyisinthanitse ndi chani ndi dola. Yeah. So it means you need to start earning more for you to buy things, the value as well, buying power. And why they devalue the kwacha is amanena kuti zinthu zimakhala kuti zikuvute kuti zikupezeni foti dola ija inu mulibe inu wani mulibe dola nawo mukuyuza kwacha ija koma kwachayo mukapita nayo sikumapanga zimene dola ikufunika kuti izipanga mukayisintha muja amakuwuzani kuti kwachanuyi kuti mutenge chinthuchi muyitani
muyisitse.
It works for aine ake aja poti waja akakupatsani dola imodzi kumapatsa ndalama yambiri. Anthu ambiri akumapanga argue kuti devaluation imachitika not chifukwa choti economy afuna ipange stabilize ngati apape because if we needed madollars kuti ndi njira dola ali satha kuyipeza ifeyo pali zinthu zimene magezi aku US amafuna pali zinthu zimene magezi aku Zambia amafuna aku Zimbabwe amafuna akutiko titazitenga ifeyo zimene zijazi kuti zikutuluka muno mukazigulitsa kwina kwake sakatipatsa makwacha iwo alibe makwacha akatipatsa madollars. So the moment mulibe zinthu zambiri zoti enaja akugulana akumakugulani inuyo amakhala kuti chilichonse inuyo mukumatani mukhanga ngati mukumakapempha. If we had things zoti zikumapita kuti iwo aja zitigula bwezi ife tikumakhala ndi madola so tikamakagulaso bwezi tikumapita ndi dola yachani tikumabweraso mwina ndi dola yomwe ija ifoti ifeyo dolayo kuno kuti libe tikumapita ndi kwacha kwa iwo is useless. They actually need a lot of kwachas
just to give us a dollar.
Aone and makwacha also akatipatsa amakhala konkuno now they become useless because zimakwacha zilimo muno
sakuzitenga.
So that's where the craziness of the whole devaluation comes in. But in real sense ndinkhani kuti tikuyena tipeze zinthu zoti ifeyo tizigulitsa madollars zinthu zoti nazo so maybe it's a conversation that would have kuti zinthu zimene tikumagulitsa madollars ndi chani
different conversation. Ase so meno akambira amwe ndoti buying power yasintha inflation yachitika you know. How is it affecting you as a person now personally? Hello.
No, I actually made a video a few days ago. I was in bed, so I was babysitting, and the baby was crying. So nakabanga babysitting, so I started like I need to just have a conversation with her because I would be saying, hey, ba. So I was like, let me just say something. So I was telling her the truth about the whole devaluation thing. And I was giving her examples of last time I made nakugula mapampers. Ngati nakugula mapampers 50. Ndi ndalama yokwana 500. 500 jatikatuluka pano pali kamakabwera. Sikabwera ndi mapampers 50. Tikabwera ndi mapampers ochepa. Kuti ndalama yatsika mphamvu zinthu zalani zakwera. And that is basically because of devaluation. Kunoko of course anthu timapanga sensationalize ngine. When the devalue happens, you wait because it's not like kuti ndalama yangogwa lero mawa chilichonse chakwera okay how chakwera ndi chani because if the dollar falls it means zimene munaoda kale munazigula kale mtengo wakale mulinazo kale mu stock you need to sell those inuyo mukamva pinch yakusintha kwa ndalama kuje mukamakagula za nyuwani kuti akuzana kuti izi magula mwakuti
pano mugula mwa
pali zinthu zina you don't even need dollar sisintha lese ngati okay the pork business I'm talking about nkhumba zimene ndikagule mawa anazilera kale zinakula kale sizikuyuza deya wa dollar amene yakuyayi but what could change is transport imene tingayuze kupitira kukatenga kubwerera nayo kuno so the margin of change has to factor in kusintha kwa transport fuel wakwera so that can change. It's not
I think I saw that conversation on Twitter. Where Pempande was saying the same. So my reaction and siana akuti ingakhala kutero anthu akwena ukaudaso yanchani, you know, but argument imene ndiyomveka kuti now let's assume you're starting this business panopa ngati uyamba sunapangeko kuyamba panopa
everything starts with the value yali
ngati ukuyamba ili pa dollar ili 10180 wewe so kupanga
capital yako kuyambira palipo
10180
pamepo
so imene isakhala ngati kupanga reinvest. I don't know anthu alipanga bash of course but
that's why I'm saying
that's actually the thing you're reinvesting. Those are the things that we have to suffer. Ngati business because imapanga suffer my losses. One of the things that would my uncertainty is that business. Another thing that I wanted to ask you was around now devaluation. Would you say kuti it's something that was inevitable kapena governance pano pa silipo. Who are we blaming?
Bro, when I'm Brandon, I say, if as a country, I feel like we've got our priorities upside down. We have a government that comes into power based on the and who chiguru alivotera government teacher amavotera chipani chimadzasanduka boma imasanduka government. So ma decisions amene amapangidwa anthu akakhalira lwa mboma amakhala ma decisions oti akhale mboma muja asangalatse kwambiri amakhati asangalatse azipanga zinthu zimene zikusangalatsa anthu amene anavotera aja because that's mene analowera mboma. Now people could have bright ideas. Panopa, if you go back and listen to misonkhano imene atonse alliance ankapanga nthawi ya campaign nde uzikaimverera panope ndi zimene zikuchitika so uthokaseka wekha uzimvera chisoni kuti these people had ideas kwa iwo amati zinthu zotheka amayenda ndi matumba afertilizer acha zimene suti anangodzuka nthawi nake kungolota probably they did ka research pang'ono pali izi zikhoza kuchitika chonchi this can change. So my economists kaya ndani my solutions are now but those solutions most of the times amaphinja be gulu lina lake na anthu now amangopanga ride wave ija kuti ndamene anativotera tikhalepo mpano now they'll start doing things zoti zingosangalatsa kagulu kena kake ka anthu. Priorities athu in agriculture, in education, in health zimaone kuti ndingini zapo kozi ndi zimene anthu ambiri amakhala akutani akupanga nazo struggle. But when you look at how to develop a country, economies of a country, those kwambiri ngati mene zili kumanongo it's more like consuming end of the spectrum. Health yathu kumana kunoku timapanga focus nzipatala umapita kuchipatala chifukwa chani
for to be serious
wadwale you know kuti our health could have been focusing on prevention from making sure that people stay fit but most of the finances that funds bene meta ku health yathu makhayo kagula mankhwala kukachiza zimene zilipo and that's the pain point ya anthu ambiri amidzi kuti adwala afuna ambiri but if you change that narrative kuti okay tiambire uku let's focus on building well-being ya anthu focus on nutrition yana samadwale anthu ena akakuya nazo because for them they are used kuti akati za umoyo ndi mankhwala mchipatala here msonkhano wonse amene kuti mankhwala adzamba kupezeka mchipatala because that's the focus. Agriculture, our agriculture is consumption of IPA, the subsidy program. Who does it benefit?
Nobody, because it's not self-sustainable.
People go agalima mvula ikangogwa yofoira zonse zijazavaya. If that was invested into the mechanization tukamba manoye kuti chani mega farms and proper find my investors abwere apatseni land apeke ma compensations anthu aja azili moti onchito ndi kulima fertilizer uja momwe mukapatse anaphiri anabieni uku anabieni mwapatse ntchito azikagwira pa famu pa magayizi aja azapatsa thumba la chimanga as part of malipiro awo kuti because zimene amafuna uja ndi chakudya and waja akhale ndi nthawi azikalima kumene kuja these guys have got control, they've got the seeds, the right seeds, they've got the fertilizers tikhoza kulima ndikupanga kutembenuza the way our reserves achimanga amakhalira chimanga chakhoza kuti chatsika but kuti nkhani imene yambike yambe kuchitika ena ake ayamba kuona amwene tikapatsa anthu aja mavoti so we politicize development
everything.
So it's going to be a very tough order to change things. So who do we blame? We are a country. We are governed by government. All these things kala tayoti kwapangidwa devalue ndalama yachokera kuti Reserve Bank is a government entity. So it's the government that are making the decisions.
Leon, do you have your mic now? Okay, so we were talking about munthu oti anapanga kale stock. Let's say ali ndi box ya biscuit. Munthu uja anagula mabiscuit aja box ja 500 waja. Anoti biscuit ali sa kumangulisa 1 kwacha akupanga profit. Ndipo pano pa devaluation yachitika kuti akagule so ina akagula 1000. Now stock yake jama anagula 500 waja ichi akugulisa pano pa 3 kwacha chifukwa cha devaluation. And we think it's not right. Now Leon wants to explain kuti ndizolondola chifukwa chotani.
Okay, to my side ndona kuti anthu oweti kuti mwaganizire mwachisanzo ine ndipereka example mwina ya belo la sugar mmakhala mapaketi 20 ngati amaoda 20,000 eri iwo akaigulisa amapezapo mwina 5 pin yapamwamba imatulutsa 25 you understand panopa devaluation right iwo aja agulisebe mtengo wakalekale it means akapita kokaoda ndi ndalama yomwe imatuluka ichi ndalama ija sikakwana kuodera waziziwa so apopo ndetu ukamba ngati za product imodzi koma mshopu mja mmakhala mabiscuit wachulawa machisa chani chilichonse chikhale kuti kumene uja akachipeza kuti chata chakwera so ngati amapanga profit ya 5 pin mwina imatulutsa 25,000 patumba koma panopa mwina kuoda it's even 30,000 for zingine zakwera 44% ndi percentage yaikulu kwambiri waziziwa so even kuoda kuchangini chakwera kwambiri ona leti afunika so mwina ndalama so inaso yonjezera on top of that that's why iwo ajamba zorango kwezera at least kalunda amene otsala katsala mapaketi
makangata kuzipanga cushion yokha
yeah cushion okha kuti at least even akamba kaonjezera yodera ichi ikakhala kuti iwo akonjezera yochepa rather than kuti akakambe from the
akapange so invest
yes because you ended probably ngona ndimana kuti the whole shop mashop wose male muno atakutsekedwe facho kuti aliyese akhala alibe capital
akwena upanga investment
even profit yawo pakha kuti palibe and ndalama yodera sikukwana you know
so I think menanela moja sorry nanela moja it's a sticky topic I saw Pempero Mpande posted it by X people had different views for those of you that are I'm hoping kuti kumani munthu oti amazitsata za economics market pricing and stuff komanso amene mukuonera in the comment section just enlighten us because now this is it podcasting you ndimene we want to learn from you and also ifeso tikuphunzitseni zimene kuti tikuziwa so at this point sitikuziwa
tiwena tidziwe timve now that's why we're here we want their views timve kuti ngini imaenda bwanji and on who to blame mbo because okay like I've said I'm saying we need to blame the government but it's not entirely the government because dollar udizibezeka kunoku government wadi anali ndana ananache amali boma lilibe mastolo aja anali ndanache
it is the government to blame man
amene amakonda kukaza jonto
kuti
it is
dziko lilibe mastolo boma lilibe mastolo Malawi the thing is we need a stronger private sector and how business oti akumapanga ndalama and my business the problem that I have seen ndife ya Malawi tinakonda kwambiri ngini zakunja so we love importing and importing makes us lose the dollar
ndikudule kai pang'ono do you not think kuti so vuto ndife kuti zinthu zathu timapangazo let's say kuti we are talking of a product let's say ngati kamba of course kamba amene timadya ndi wa ku Malawi kwankulu but for example let's say university just ya ku Malawi ndi yakunja then there's me that's trying to make kamba from Malawi kuandupanga za substandard don't you think these are some of the factors mene mapangisa be push kuti tizikagula zinthu kunja than buying zinthu za ku Malawi kunoko
it is it's one of those things and wait guy for me even into the word substandard imagine there's a benchmark you are comparing with something
yes
so basically comparison yo kuchokera kuti pali china yake chimene unachijako choti chimene chinali mwina ichichi chikumveka mwina and chances are chimene unachije kuyambiracho ndi chakunjacho that's why when you do ichichi chakunochi umati bora chiti chakunja chomwe chichi most of the things that we already have the things that we are already consuming panope ndizovuta adi uzipanga substitute there's need of a heavy investment for us to get to that standard and that heavy investment ifail tilibe but it's not like this isingachitike because chinthu chingati chimangidwa ku Zambia that means there's a plant imene inadzalidwa ku Zambia people invested money to put that plant there
in Zambia
and anamba kupanga produce in Zambia
okay so mimi naona kwamba just substandard another thing I know you're a well-traveled man
what
well-traveled man, you're well exposed.
Yeah.
Waenda kwa ndege ukudzi.
Ndakwera ku Zimbabwe.
Azizi wetu.
One
of the things that I've noticed from traveling itself. Yeah. KFC yomwe. KFC from other countries and KFC here too, you know. The chicken is different.
Yep.
You know. The franchise is yomweyo.
Yomweyo. They say they use the same recipe.
You see? So would you also say couldn't divulge la investment?
It's the economy. Ndi anthu angati amene amanyamuka pa week kunoku kukadya ku KFC.
Mayo
tu basi.
Unaona mayo?
Daily. Mayo makauti afuna pange impress na yake basi chanchani. Koma economy yathu
si mati
bangalawo kuti uthoma ngonyamuka iweyo basi pa KFC paja chani mwakuti umayiyang'ana chiwaya ndikudzachipanga compare ndi KFC makaya chiwaya ndikhutaso bobotu basi wapa chiwaya anzathu aje ka income kawo ndikokwanira ndithu ali nako kuti they go there they buy. So in a place where you sell more you are able to invest more into kaya zimene maika recipes ije anzati magezi abwera adzagula ndisa amapeka mtengoso kaponya chanchani amakhala akulipira mafuta athira bwinobwino pamene ife magaya taphikani zikhoza kuperewera zikaonongeka tisaonongeka majena ambiri. So instead of kuti minayike ma volumes aja bwinobwino amamenya mwina tema 3/4 angodya kobe basi. So it compromises quality. Our buying power is low than the other countries. So even the level of investment that you put into that market, you will not carry out.
Dennis, the last time we went to Chipata, right? Do you remember?
Wait, I would make up a kudu beni, never jandibe my headphones. Nukumva ka sound ka machine.
Yeah. Yes. The process of kupita Chipata, ukana kazoro indi mwina umapanga sosi kaya wako wazizi ulimika garden kao ka tomato and then ufuna vaisa ku Zambia. Do you feel like you as an individual the process ndithu yoti yophweka kuvaisa nginicha ukamabwera mweja ndi $dollars mwino bwendra mazambiri mbiri sakuvuta aso aboma omweyo like because that's the forex nkonatona kuti even government imafunika ike njira zoti ndizoyenera bobo kuti funds itomapanga even itopangidwa involve into bringing the dollar because currently it's a sad fact koma Malawi only depends on donor aid and ngongole kuti the forex.
Okay, in any mauza pali ka statement kamodzi kamene anthu amanena. I'll come back to the journey koma imene yoti dependency yathuyo.
Yeah.
There's a question people keep asking. What is Malawi's main source of forex? What is it, Brandon?
Main source of
forex.
Kupempha.
Ndi ngongole. Ndi kukhululukidwa.
Ndi anthu limanamizana ati tobacco is the main you know. I say, I tell people all the people that actually are doing well in this country, they either work for international NGOs or the government-ish kind of thing. But anthu amene amabwetsa ndalama mtawuni munomu mdziko munomu ndi ma NGOs which are like donor funded projects. So when people mention tobacco yani I laughed at amagai mabilioni ake amabwera timiyezi titatu babasapita. So our government knows that and they try to protect the donor community, the donor aid channel more. When it comes to business and investment, I was talking to several guys, and the guys I mean talk now cross-border trading aje, ananena. When it comes to MIT, Malawi investment and trade chanchani, I say kudu kapeze ma documents when jagwa exportation or importation, it's an issue. When you want to start a business license, registration yokai, licenses, they are all prohibitive. Ndio madabwa kuti when it's papodium akukamba is when it's time to implement in office mucha amakamera kukaniza zose zicha. What's the problem? I say tunakumana ndazi mai kuchipata kucha anati fotokozera the challenges that they face kuti angotenga zinthu abweretse kunoku. Now kutenga zinthu kuno kuti zituluke zoti mwina we don't know what we want as a country.
There's a lot, man. Pale antu we have people with digital skills kubuild a website kutani kupanga website kunja kucha ndi ndrama zambiri, right? Ineni mabeka example mene olotapanga jina even editing masiku ano atajambula zinthu kunjako afuna na from Malawi abanga edit iziziwa footage it's in the cloud. It's possible. Muntu jakama mulipira amulipira $dollars. Iye jakapita ku bank sakatenga ja $dollars.
Akatenga makwacha.
Waziziwa. Komano even to get paid from outside Malawi. This is 2023. We don't have a proper channel. It's even hidden from the public. Kuti ukozondra bwanji ndrama jokera kunja. Apart from ukulu.
Information sharing kumala kuno konde.
Ndio chinthu chovuta kwambiri.
Because now pali zinthu za simple kwambiri. even bunaso kulipirana $dollars also that's a thing
complicated ino.
bwana kuti utenge license ba license otumalipira makwaja momwemo komano pamapeza kuti wina akakudyera chifukwa kuti information ya mmene ngini imayendera ulibe passport yomwe kuti for you to have a passport for you to have your own birth certificate imene mapeza kuti wayamba kuifunafuna chifukwa you want to travel it's very hard. You know, information sharing independe mativuta kwambiri. Now I'm thinking kuti this information imasungidwa dala kuti anthu tisadziwe fatika dziwa tiyambofunsa mafunso ambiri.
Yes. So pali anthu oti these people are individuals and my benefits awo amene amapeza mdziko munomu ndi njira zimenezozo. So the moment people are made aware or they have the knowledge yangini chamene mayendere amakhoti iwaja kantaji kawo katani katsekedwa.
Yeah.
There was a comment pa group ina yake timaza creatives group yokhudza the same thing yeah, how things work in Malawi.
Yeah.
Kuti license kuti ukatenge passport kuti ukatenge ufuna upange invest koma kwa MIT aliyese amene umakumana naye ndi ife tidyapo zingati
Ona?
ndidyapo zingati you actually be frustrated at that point.
Mpeza business so angoisiya ura ba series sindipangaso.
Ndingosiya ndingogula galimoto ndikangoisiya instead of kwamanga chichichi. See?
Yeah, that's why so a lot of people in my border areas, because I grew up in Chinji, like I spent a lot of time in Chinji. I know a lot of people that are doing my illegal business, kubanga smart go. They indulge in that because they know what abanga my people are nothing doing. You know? I don't know. Tikupiti zabe kapena utavanga exhaust.
No, I think we have talked enough. We'll give room to other people.
Adimete so munobwino magaya wawa sabase busy yeah.
Abacha akandira kuitsa zino
umayankhula iwe ndala wasilo
ndinsiya ndimete ndivuzanga bwino
waziziwa
usamusokoneza.
So thank you very much for your time, Mr. Dennis Imani, Papa Ira. Yeah, man, it's always the one and only Brandon Jones, and we're still here at the barber shop having very thought-provocative conversations around issues to do with masculinity and also the economy as a whole, and also being a Malawian. Do you know what I'm a professional Malawian? Because it's a profession.
I say being a Malawian is ndiga achievement tikabadira. If you are born, raised, and grew up here, say put it there. It's an experience.
Yeah, man. So I told you that we are in the barber shop, and some of you thought kuti mwarungonena. A few minutes ago, I was a peacock. Now I'm a golden peacock. Bars, nigga, bars. Yeah, man. So we're still here, Podcastmalawi, the one and only Brandon Jones, and I'm with
Maneli Sitole.
Mr. Sitole.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Sitole.
Okay, cool. So we just want to have a little chat with you.
That's good.
Yeah, I know we blibed you into this, but yeah. Okay, so what we want to talk about is the day-to-day things that we are facing as people living in Malawi.
That's okay.
I was just assume we're both Malawians because Africans are all Malawians.
No, okay. Yeah. Grateful for that.
Yeah. The first question that I would hit you with is: have you heard the announcement that our currency has been devalued?
Yeah, recently I saw some news that there is some ratings which have been high and stuff, and I think a lot of people have been crying about it.
We are. We are. It's very hurtful.
Yeah.
What do you understand about the whole concept of devaluation? What's your take?
Oh, okay. For myself, I just saw the announcement, right?
Yeah.
So when the currency is compared with the US dollar, the issue in this country mostly I've realized is that most of the stuff, they use the Forex to get it from outside.
Outside, yeah.
Yeah. So when such an instance happens, when the currency loses value, it's usually bad on the people of this land.
Yeah.
Why their money has lost value to buy the goods outside.
Yeah.
So when your value is lost, then it affects a lot of industries here in the country to get imports, a lot of imports. But I believe they rely a lot in a lot of imports in this country.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about the export side of it.
Yeah.
Of which the people have to improve to get a lot of currency and give value to the Malawian
Malawian
economy.
culture.
And its money.
Okay.
So I haven't really seen what's happening on the ground on people. Maybe because of where I am, or maybe I'm shielded to see the impact it has made on the different people. Because in Malawi, you never know, some people, they are struggling. They are living well. Even if the currency collapses, they are shielded against such things. So I'm not pretty sure to explain the background of many because of my side, I can say, because I also believe to a certain extent, I'm shielded to face that impact. The currency is what is good enough.
So you heard it. Mr. Sitole is not complaining about the devaluation. You cry babies, cry all you want. He's good.
So
I can hear. Is it South African accent?
What are you saying?
Are you South African?
No, I'm from Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwean?
Yeah, I'm from
Giving Zimbabwe.
You can't say that.
I
Come
saw
on.
your hairline. It's literally giving Zimbabwe.
But it was suggesting South Africa this way.
Damn.
Honestly, he was saying South Africa.
No.
But
Because most of the accents from Zimbabwe, Botswana, and South Africa, they have that sound to it.
And the Sitoli.
Yeah, and the Sitole as well.
come
We
on.
have Sitoles in Botswana. There are Swanas that are Sitole, and Zimbabweans that are Sitole, and also people in South Africa.
Yeah,
because I mean, people are just screwing each other around. This area.
we want people. Just
yes, we
different
are.
locations.
Yes, we are.
Location.
Yeah, man. So, you said you're shielded, so I want to ask you how it's affecting you personally. But now I want to ask you, as a man, an African man, how do you feel like? How do you define your responsibility as a man around the society, around your family, around your friends? How can you describe your responsibilities as a man, as opposed to being a female?
First of all, being a man, that's a what? That's a gender. You are masculine. Right?
Masculine, masculinity.
We've grown from being boys to men, and as a man, you are a father, and the father is a source. Right?
Yeah, it is.
So what it means, it simply is like you should be able to provide security. Should be able to provide what can I say? Insight in life, in society.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, direction in society. That's what you're growing to be as a father. That's what it means, being a man, right? Yeah. So the responsibility is anyone surrounding you, you are responsible for them. How do I say so? Okay. There are people you inspire in life. There are people you teach in a different way. Like, for example, when you're looking at me right now, there are things you're getting. There's something you're learning. To some might say, this guy is confident. I want to be confident like him. Someone might say, he's shy.
This boy. Look at
I have
him.
to improve on that. Someone is learning without even interacting with that person. You understand? So being responsible is how you affect your society positively for a greater change and for a greater good. So taking care of your surroundings is how you treat yourself. Treating yourself includes the wisdom you have, includes the respect you have, includes how you take care of yourself. So right now, if you're nurtured in a good way, you are able to teach whoever is looking at you how to carry himself, maybe towards parents, maybe towards people around, or maybe towards anyone influential out there. Right now, as I'm speaking, I can be able to teach someone about respecting a woman by how I stand up when a woman comes in and give you what? A chair or something like that, for example, is an example. So such things you are teaching society, or you are giving society great insight into life, what should be done by your actions. But it's also part of what taking responsibility of who you are as a man. And as for security, it's your provisions in your workplace or wherever you go, making sure the family is taken care of. The family includes your personal one and anyone external whom you can offer a hand to. So I think that's how far I can go responsibility, and also I think also spiritually.
Yeah,
As the father of your house, you are a priest. You also have to take care of your house and shield whatever happens in your family. Shield them from every wind of evil that may go against your family. You are the head of the house.
Yeah, true.
Because there are instances in life where a family has everything gotten hold together. You have everything intact as far as the physical is concerned.
Yeah.
But there are waves in the spirit that may affect your family. You'll find a child just saying, I just feel like today I'm gay. I just feel like I'm like these strange things. You just don't know. You then realize that there's something spiritual which has happened. Because in the natural, there's nothing like that. If you look at the, how can I say, the animal world, it's always been male and female. Things like that. You see everywhere, it's always been two genders. But then when you get to this our world, then you realize that no, something has happened beyond the natural. And that's what? Spiritual.
Very
So
spiritual.
as a priest of the house, you have to also be responsible for whoever is around you, your family, whoever it is. You are the priest of the house. Guard them against strange stuff, strange spirits. I would have gotten deeper, but I would love to just leave it
there.
Yeah.
I can just add on to say, in the best-selling book in the world, that's the Bible. That's very referred to by many Christians. It says, I think it is 2 Timothy, if not 1 Timothy, where we're told that you have to lead your house first before you can lead the church.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
The office of the bishop. You should take care of your own. Take care of the house. Be the bishop of your house. I understand that part. The book is ancient and it's full of insight.
That's why it's the best-selling book in the world.
It's ancient and it's full of insight. I don't know who challenges it, but
people are against it because it's the best-selling book.
That's what impact does, right?
Goes back to
that's what influence does, right?
Yes.
It happens a lot of people, a lot of enemies. I understand. But it has stood for ages.
Now, culturally, as Africans, with also this westernization and stuff, do you think that masculinity is being challenged?
By what?
By maybe the Western culture, or maybe just the evolved
Western culture.
I don't know, maybe things that we're getting from the TVs from abroad, things that are not African.
Do you remember when I told you when we were talking about the responsibility of being a father?
That's why I asked you that.
Right? I never got to that side, but it's also your duty as the head of the house, right? To control what comes in your family. Because this life, mostly it's cause and effect. And we operate like this principle, the computer principle. They call Gugu.
Garbage in, garbage out.
So what you let into your house is what you express out there because of what you feel. So there's a lot of good stuff you see out there in the Western world. A lot of innovations, a lot of industrial stuff you can learn from yourself and your family. But it's up to you to choose the bad side. It's up to you to choose what to damage your family, what to damage your reputation or your career. Whatever will affect you in a wrong manner. It's all up to you. It's a responsibility. Because you can't be watching something you don't want and not expect to act in that manner when you have been receiving such information. Because this DNA you have also, it's affected by the environment. The way you are wiring your mindset is affected also by the environment, your surroundings. So what you watch, this eye is a gateway to a lot of stuff. So you have to be concerned about what you see, because you also act in that manner. Because I remember thinking as a young boy, I also did this in stuff. Because of what? Wrestling. Exactly. While we're watching a lot of stuff. Guess what? You also dream those things.
True.
So you have a mindset of a what? Of a wrestler. You find kids wrestling and stuff. But why? Why is it so? It's
because
the issue
of
of what
that you're seeing.
What you're seeing, So you also have to protect what you're seeing in your home. There's a lot of beautiful things you can learn from the Western world. A lot of innovations, buildings and stuff. There's a lot to learn from. It's up to you to take the good and leave the bad, or take the bad and act bad.
Facts. So what you're basically saying is that when masculinity is challenged, a lot of responsibilities are not going to be taken care of, and the world is going to go to west.
Yeah, a lot of that's what will happen. That's what will happen when you receive something wrong, you act wrong. That's how it is. That's how it is. And how can I get a bit deeper with this thing? Masculine, we're still talking about men, right?
Yeah.
No, okay, yeah. So I also discovered this, especially in the Western world.
Yeah.
Though there need to be some investigations, but from a lot of doctors, they've also confirmed that there are a lot of, what's this? It's estrogen.
Yeah.
They place in a lot of foods out there.
Yeah.
Why are they doing so? They want to decrease your level of the power of the what? Testosterone.
Testosterone,
in
yeah.
men. Yeah. So that's why they're saying a lot of men out there, they are now what? They are weak outside there. Why? Because of the foods they what?
They are being hormonized.
They eat. And some of them are no longer having that boldness which our fathers of the 90s ones, they had.
Yeah.
Why? Because of the foods they're having. It's affecting
consuming,
masculinity. Because it's affecting the testosterone, how a man operates.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it also goes back to what you consume, what you put into you.
Yeah.
That's what you act out. You understand? So responsibility is very vast. It's very huge. It's very huge. It's more like stewardship, taking care of your environment.
Yeah.
That's what it is. There are a lot of things on that.
You're a Christian, right?
Do you think so?
I'm asking. Genuinely asking. Are you a Christian?
Yeah, I believe in the Lord Jesus.
You believe in the Lord Jesus Christ. Okay, cool. One last thing that I'd ask. You talked about consuming, right?
Yeah.
But the Lord Jesus Christ said, what goes in has no harm, but what comes out of you. So what would you
say about that?
But yes.
What was the incident about that?
I think people were asking about should we eat this? Should we eat that? I think it was an incident of things that were banned in the times of Moses. It's a very big book, that one.
No, okay. Yeah. So what I was talking about there, the issue is like men, we are spirit men, right? More than this flesh.
Yeah.
What we eat, it assists the growth of the what?
Of the body.
Of the flesh. Yeah, in these bonds. But the spirit man is what controls you. Your heart is what controls you. Your thoughts are from within and not from the food. You understand?
Yeah.
So when he was talking about that, he was talking about the intentions of the heart. At one point, when there was an anointing session in the house of David. They brought a lot of children there. And I think they had a lot of CVs, those guys. All the sons of Jesse.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there are a lot of CVs, those guys. This one, that one. The first one came, is this the child? And the prophet said no. The second one, the third one, the fourth one, the prophet said no.
Yeah.
He's not the one whom I want to anoint. But the father was giving them. So which means these guys, when they were presented, they were having some qualities, or what can I say, or attributes.
Yeah.
Okay, or attributes which are good.
Yeah.
Because no one will ask you for anything of use that you need to present and present a bad one.
Yeah, true.
So usually what I understood from that sense, most children which were presented there, the children were doing good in the house. Yet there was a David way outside, not with other brothers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then this statement came. It said what? God looks in the heart, not where the external.
The external,
yeah. God looks in the heart.
In the heart, yeah.
That's where a man is. His intentions, his thoughts, what he imagines, what he will be. As a man thinks, so
he do it. Yeah.
Right. So when the Lord talks about that, I talked of the issue of what you consume, right?
Yeah.
This is not food, but it has power to alter the spirit man within. You understand?
Yeah.
Spirits travel through the spirits in this world.
Yeah.
They don't have a body. They use men. They use men to express themselves.
Yeah.
So whatever you do outside there is a spirit behind you. It might be holy, it might be evil.
Yeah.
Right. So whatever you do, whatever you consume, it affects the spirit man with you.
Within you.
Yeah, within you. So whatever you're acting out is what you have been eating or feeding
That
the inner
spirit.
person. Yeah, that's what you act out. When you act, if there are people who are naturally evil,
Yeah.
but they don't know where they got it from.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
True. Got it.
But it's because of the environment or the culture where they've been. There are people who kill.
Yeah.
Just kill. It's okay
Just
with
because,
them.
yeah.
Yeah, it's okay with them. Why? They've been affected in that mean, but they don't know. The spirit man has been affected.
Yeah.
Which says, I think it's what? I'm not sure. It's Timothy or something. I can't confirm anymore. But it talks of people with a conscience seared with a hot iron. They can no longer sense the spirit man is what? Is dead. So the main point that the Lord was talking about is the purity of the spirit man within you. That's what the main point was. It's not about food.
There you have it. That was Mr. Sithole quoting the famous book, the best-selling book in the world, and also the best character in this book by the name Jesus Christ.
Best ever.
Thank you very much for having, this session with me as you were having your haircut, man. I'm hoping we could also meet a couple of more times because you got some great insights.
No, okay.
I really enjoyed the conversation.
Really?
Yeah, man.
No, okay. I'm
Yeah.
grateful, sir.
Yeah. So we're still here at the barber shop. People are doing their thing. Look at him, man. He came in looking Zimbabwe. Now he looks all flesh.
My country is the best. What are you saying?
Yeah, man.
My country is the best.
Thanks, man. Thank you very much.
It's okay.
Yeah.
So we're talking about everything, and I think with you, I would want to understand the aspect of mental health.
Okay.
Why do you have so much passion for the mental health that you actually went on to start an organization? What's the organization name?
Caring Hands.
Caring Hands,
Center,
yeah.
Malawi,
Yeah. Why? What's the motivation?
What's my motivation? So, my motivation behind Caring Hands is actually personal because I have first-hand experience with mental health. Yeah, so in short, I lost both my parents in 1 year, in a space of 1 year, in 2003. So having to move from a setup of having both parents to having no parents at all, it actually hit me hard. So I remember the first year, my mental health manifested into something physical. I actually got sick physically. So from there, and then after that 1 year, I recovered. I had like gases. I think the gases were just increasing to the point that for 3 months, I couldn't eat. Literally, I couldn't eat. Whenever I eat something, I could just vomit. I could roll on the floor. Like, it was really bad, yeah? And at the end, they found out that it was actually related to trauma, the trauma that I suffered from losing my parents. So after that, I was young then. I didn't realize exactly what was happening. And most of these things actually caught up with me when I was in the university at Polytechnic. I think when I had grown up, I was able to see life in a different way. That's when I realized that, that was actually mental health. That was a serious mental health thing that I went through. And just apart from that, I think, the normal life challenges, you experience so many things. Apart from not having parents, apart from being an orphan, there are also other normal things that as a person you actually experience. So that also actually added on my passion for mental health. So when I was in the university, I made a decision on my own to say, I'm going to help orphans, children that have been through the same exact experience that I've had, but then I want them to be like active survivors, not victims, because such situations, traumas, and different, I would say different circumstances of life that are negative, they can actually turn you either into a monster or you can become a victim. But for me, I was like, I want them to become active survivors, to say, okay, regardless that you've been through this, but you can still become something in life. For me, I feel like one of the first achievements I saw was being able to make it to the public university. Despite being an orphan, I was like, but I ended up in the public university. So yeah, that was my motivation. So come 2017, when I was working for MHub Malawi, that's when I actually registered the NGO. I think that time you were there.
I was there.
Yeah, so, and who inspired me to actually register the company was Rachel Sibande, who was my boss then, the founder for MHub.
Yeah.
And she's actually one of my board members as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're talking about the causes of how people have mental breakdown, and you're talking about challenges, problems. As a girl
Yeah.
running an organization, having survived through whatever you had to go through to this time that you are doing a lot of things. We might talk about other things that I know that you're working on and all that.
Yeah.
How then do you cope? And when you meet other girls that have challenges, how are you helping them? What mechanism do you usually use?
All right, so I think my help, firstly, it comes from a personal point of view. If it's someone who is within my circle, someone that I can talk to, when I notice that they're also going through some mental health challenge, whether it's similar to mine or not, I try to speak to them. I try to encourage them, because I should say that I'm not a mental health expert. I think you know that, right? Yeah, but then I'm just someone who's very passionate, and I've developed my experience with mental health through the work that I do with Caring Hands. I actually have a lot of experience because I encounter it firsthand. Like, I meet people every day. I interact with someone through either directly or through the mental health experts that I work with. So firstly, I use myself, I help them. I can counsel them, not as a profession, but just someone who
has gone
a survivor and also someone who sees these issues every day. And the second way that I encourage these young girls is I refer them to the right people. Like, for example, I refer them to the mental health experts that I work with, or to the institutions that I've partnered with, other institutions that I've partnered with. Because as Caring Hands, our main focus in mental health is awareness. So we also offer psychological first aid, which is just like counseling, one-on-one counseling or group sessions. But then if it's a serious case, we actually refer them to our partners like St. John of God, like those psychotic cases, if it's very serious. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, so talking about the support that you offer to the victims and whatnot, I think in Zambia, a lot of people forget the causes of these issues, mental health issues.
Yeah.
As women, there are all issues that women go through worldwide. In this country, even worse because of Khanizandrama, violence, gender-based violence, relationship issues, and all those things.
Yeah.
What do you think, from your experience, what do you think are some of the major causes that people are going through depression and all those? And how should women do their things to make sure that they are self-sustaining people, they are independent, and probably how can we reduce my issues in Gadamene, or looking at everything that's going on through this country? Economically, socially, and everything else. What would women need to be doing?
Okay, so talking of the causes, for me, I think the major causes are, number one, financial, number two, relationships. For me, I think those are the main causes of mental health when it comes to women. So in terms of finances, it's either you're not able to cater for yourself for the basic needs. For me, I feel like for a normal woman, your pressures, firstly, they start from the basic needs before you start to think about the luxuries and everything, because most of these things are luxuries. Yeah. And of course, we love luxury, but I think the main cause is when you lack basic needs, that affects your mental health really. Or when you don't have sustainable sources for your basic needs. You might have basic needs today, but if there is no sustainability, if there is no security, those are the things that stresses a normal woman. Like, okay, I might have shelter today, I might have food today, I might have clothes today, but what if I'm not able to keep up in the next months? So I think that's one of the main causes. The other one, as I said, relationship challenges. So when it comes to relationship challenges, whether you're married or whether you're single, whenever you have issues in your relationship, I think those are the things from most of the cases that we receive at Caring Hands, and also just from people that I interact with. When a woman, a lady, a girl, when you've reached the age where you can have a relationship or you can be married, if that is not happening or it has happened, but then you're facing challenges, that's not how you want your life to go. That's a big stressor for ladies. Okay. So in terms of how you can actually overcome that, let me start with the money issues. So for the money issues, I would say, being the person that I am, I've told you about my background, being an orphan, what. I think before you start to think of anyone else, you have yourself to train yourself to have means of making money. Whether if you're educated, you can find a job. whether you want to run a business or whatever you can do just to have a permanent source of income. I think that is very important. And when it comes to, in terms of relationships, I don't want to say much on relationships because there's no formula when it comes to relationship. What might work for me might not work for someone else. So in terms of relationships, I think, when you find love, just cherish it and, do whatever you can to sustain it. If things go wrong, as a mental health activist, I would say seek help. Yeah, seek professional help. Yeah.
All right. There are some factors that probably adding to the whole thing. When you look at, let's say, the situation, Panova, I think the major issue that people have been discussing lately, the past 2 days, has been the devaluation of the kwaja and how everything else price has just skyrocketed.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a solution on how these things can be fixed?
In terms of, as a
the economy, the way the economy is and all that.
I think, for me, I've always been someone who always think there's nothing impossible. I think there's something that can be done to fix the economy. But at this point, honestly, this situation is really bad. So what I would say is, maybe as a person individually, everyone should work towards how can I sustain myself at this point? Because if we start looking at the government, we start looking at this and that, pointing fingers and everything, you still have to feed yourself, yeah? You still have to cater for your basic needs. So I think what I would say is we just have to find ways to sustain ourselves at this point. Yeah.
I know of your passion for cities. You currently work with the Goshen city, which is more like a modern city that's just coming up. We see you at public events, pavilions. So just tell us about that. What's your role and what is it that you're pushing as an individual in the project?
All right. So I won't say as an individual because I'm working as a company.
As a company, okay.
Yes. So professionally, I'm a physical planner. I studied physical planning at the University of Malawi, the Polytechnic. Yeah. So because I'm a physical planning is more to do it's more to do with town planning, urban planning, and cities. Yeah. That's how I found myself here. So I have a company called Evolve Limited, which is a consultant for Goshen City. It is the physical planning consultant for Goshen City. So it is that company that is actually offering all physical planning, all the physical planning needs for the project. It is the company that is offering. So it's not in my personal capacity,
but it's the
company's capacity. Yes.
I see. And is it the same passion that actually probably made you to go into the smart cities thing? Because I know you're an ambassador for Smart Cities Foundation, African Smart Cities Foundation, right?
Yeah, African Smart Cities Innovation
Foundation.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Anything to share about that?
Okay, so my passion for cities actually started from there. I would say I've always been passionate about smart cities. I've always been passionate about technology, innovation. I think you're a witness. I've worked with MHub. I've worked with Spark Systems. So it's all about innovation. It's all about technology. So because of that, and my career, which is in town planning, physical planning, it's like I've always wanted to find ways of bringing in innovation, technology into the planning aspect. So that's where my passion comes from. So smart cities, talking of smart cities it's a city, the same city town planning, but then smart. When you talk about smart, that's where the innovation and technology part comes in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything that you're working on, you're looking forward to when it comes to smart cities and how we can improve people's lives? Because I believe if you're talking about innovation, if you're talking about cities, you're looking at all the challenges that are there in a city, and how do you make life better for people? While they live, they share, they use the city for economic gains and everything. What are you looking forward to, and what initiatives are there that you think, if they are implemented, they could change people's lives or how we live? Example, Dirongwe.
Yeah. Okay. So in terms of projects, I think I will talk about the Congress, the African Smart Cities Congress, which is supposed to happen next year. So this African Smart Cities Congress is the annual Smart Cities Congress for Africa that happens every year. So as the ambassador, I actually pushed for it to be hosted in Malawi. So for me, that is something that I'm looking forward to, that if Malawi can host the African Smart Cities Congress, I think that will push us to certain limits, like to push us beyond certain limits to actually implement things maybe that were hard or that we couldn't implement in the past. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that and to see how it's going to play out and to see the role that Malawi is going to play and how we can actually benefit as a country from such a big Congress.
Okay. Anything that you would want people to understand about, let's say, smart cities, that you think a lot of people could still be, smart cities in this region. And if you were to talk to someone on the streets who meets you and say, what is that? And how does that help a lay person who lives in Lilongwe? How does it help?
All right, so what I would say to a layman, smart cities is about making things easy. Because smart, it's technology, it's innovation. So technology and innovation, they always come in with an element of like digitizing things, like things that we used to do before, making them easier. For example, I'll use my profession. Back then, we used to draw maps using a pen and pencil on maps. But the coming in of technology and innovations, we actually have applications and softwares that we can just sit on a computer and do the same work. And it's easier and it's faster. And on top of that, it's more accurate. So for a layman, I would say, for example, I'll give an example of cable cars. Yeah, if you've been to Cape Town, when you're going up the Table Mountain, you use those cable cars, yeah? There's a technology that is being implemented for mobility, for transportation, which is called podways, or I would say the same cable cars, where you can move from one point to another very fast because a cable car will move like, woo! So within a very short time, you move from point A to B, a distance that you could have taken a very long time for you to reach. At the same time, it's environmentally friendly because they're not using all these, our cars use fuel, what. Of course, we have the smart cars that are in. Yeah, so it's something that is more convenient and it's actually cheaper in other countries. Yeah.
Okay. All right. No, thank you so much for taking time. Before you go, if you have anything, any advice that you'd want to give to ladies or anything that you think before you step out and do other things you want to share, that's your time now.
For me, I think I would just like to encourage ladies to innovate, register companies, whether NGOs, like whatever you're passionate about, whatever your calling is. For me, I call the Caring Hands, the mental health organization. I always say it's my calling. Like, this is the legacy that I'm going to leave when I'm out of this earth. So if there's anything you can do as a lady, whether you want to do business, whether you want to work, do that and give it your best. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Kristen, for your time, for giving us your minutes of your schedule. We know your son had already finished, but you stayed with us.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right. We're here at Rehoboth Barbershop. I'm just waiting for my haircut. And guess what? The gentleman that is with me, he's been here for a while. He was refusing to have a cut with anybody else, but a specific guy. He waited for almost half an hour, is it?
Yes.
So just to get your hair done by your very own barber, is it?
Of course.
So anyway.
This is the best barber shop in town, I'm telling you. Of course, you can see my head.
Yes, it can tell by something. Anyway, my name is Bensam. I'm with Podcastmalawi. Welcome you here. Tell us, what is your name?
Okay, my name is Sylvester Elliott, and I'm from New Jersey, USA.
New Jersey.
Yes, and I'm also a business owner here in Malawi.
Ah, interesting. Apart from business, what else do you do?
Also IT engineer.
IT and engineering. Interesting. For how long have you been in Malawi?
About 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Yes.
You've been here before?
Yeah, I've been here every year.
You come and go.
Yes, exactly.
Interesting. So we're going to ask you a few questions on a number of topics, and whatever question you feel like you can answer, please do give us some enlightenment on that. So recently in Malawi, we just had a devaluation. I think it's just been a couple of days.
Yeah, I think like 2 days ago.
Yes. So it's been like 44% devaluation. What is your take on that in terms of Malawi as a country? And if you're to compare on a global market, what do you think are going to be the effects?
Well, the devaluation that took place 2 days ago is not really good for the country, even though the government thinks it's a way to control and stabilize the economy, but also experts, they think it can create inflation. And the people that are hurt the most right now is the poor people, the poor Malawians. It also affects the business sector. As I told you, I'm a businessman here. And for example, yesterday I was about to put in some orders and I called my suppliers. They said I have to hold on because there's going to be a new price. They're coming out with a new price list.
You have to wait.
So everything has spiked up. And who is suffering? The poor people.
So why do you say the poor people are the ones who are going to suffer and not the rich people?
Well, looking at the percentage of poor people in Malawi is probably about 75% of Malawians are poor. Okay?
Yes.
And these people, they can't afford. When the price keeps spiking up, there's no pay increase. So they're the one that actually suffer. Like I said, it also affects the business people. So what do I mean? Now we have a great imbalance where the demand and supply, demand is greater than the supply. Malawi is not able to generate enough foreign currency. So that's what actually brings the devaluation.
All right. So you have talked about devaluation and inflation. What is the difference?
Well, like I said,
Yes.
the government do this just to prevent inflation. For example, the U.S. We thank God we have Joe Biden has vast experience in politics and he was able to save the world from inflation. And one thing he did, it keeps spiking up the tax. When they keep increasing the tax, the interest rate, then it slows down the economy. And it's the same thing Malawians are doing. Now, when the currency is devalued, that will slow down the imports. You understand? And that will create some kind of balance and stability in the economy.
Okay. So in my layman understanding,
Yes.
when you say inflation, that means when you have the situation where there's inflation, that's when you're going to have a little bit better cash flow.
Not really.
Not really.
No. It slows down the cash flow. So, for example, I talked earlier on about the imbalance with the demand and supply. So one of the revenue that Malawi was able to raise foreign currency is through the tobacco exports. So once that slowdown now is affecting sectors like the oil sector, now they're not able to get enough currency, foreign currency, to put in their orders, or business people. So you see, it's going to affect so many sectors. And Malawi, they totally depend on importing goods because one, they are land bound.
Okay. So you mentioned that you're also an engineer.
Yes.
You're into technology.
Yes.
So you're here in Malawi doing business.
Yes.
Do you have anything to do with the Goshen City in Mangochi?
Well,
Is that part of your business deal?
Of course, my business, I'm going to take it there once Goshen is ready. But Goshen City is a very good idea by the prophet, which happens to be my spiritual father also.
Okay.
And with what he's trying to do there, I mean, it's a good thing, but I have a little concern about the basic infrastructure to support what he wants to bring to Malawi and Goshen. So, for example, he was talking about the smart city.
Yes.
There are basic foundations that need to be in place, or system that needs to be in place in Malawi in order to support a smart city. So, for example, I would say networking. Do they have a supportive network internet that can handle those things? A smart city is something definitely once they are controlled by AI. And AI can only be alive when it's online. So you want a supportive network system, electricity, support engineers, experts. Right? So you see, there's so many things, but I don't know if Malawi is prepared for that yet, or if they are ready for that yet.
Okay, so looking at this project, the Goshen City, I don't know how far they have gone with it. And with the immediate devaluation like this, do you think that project is going to be affected by this devaluation?
I don't think so.
Why not? I feel like they already had a budget for it. Now there's a devaluation.
Exactly.
Do you think they're okay with their budgets?
Well, remember, like you said, they already have a budget, and they already have experts and companies they are working with outside of Malawi.
Yes.
Okay, so this change is not going to affect that because they already signed a contract on that already. So this is going to mainly affect, like I said, the business here, those that normally do regular imports for their businesses, is going to affect them. And number one thing, once the fuel, there's a change in fuel, definitely everything going to spike up. Yesterday, I went to a store right there by Game Mall.
Yes.
And I have to wait for them to change the price.
Okay. Interesting. I think some shops, they had to close.
And not only that,
Yeah.
3 weeks ago when I was in town, the dollar was about 1,600 and change.
Yeah.
Black market was running for 1,850. This morning, I actually changed for 2,000.
Okay.
For $1.
Interesting.
The black market. The bank is now, I think, 1,734.
Okay. All right. So you are emphasizing the fact that this economy, this situation is basically going to affect an average person, not these big people.
Everyone, actually, but the people are going to be suffer the most, are going to be impacted the most, is the poor people. Like I said, we have 75% poor people in Malawi, especially in the rural areas where they just depend on farming, and the little money they have, they spend it on food stuff.
Okay, so you're talking about 75% of poor people, which will drastically be affected by this situation.
Yeah.
Now, do you think this can bring a huge impact to probably mental health or on how people see things?
Of course, it's going to affect every sector.
Okay.
Every sectors in Malawi. Okay? Because no matter what, the health sectors, they need medication to come in. They need equipment to run their hospitals. So every sector is going to be affected.
So if you look at Malawi and abroad, do you think mental health is an issue which people need to pay attention to as much? Or what do you understand?
Well, first of all, I want you to know this. It's not Malawi that Malawi is not the only country going through this. I'm telling you, it's worldwide. It's affecting you. Only probably know about Malawi, but other major African countries around the world right now, they are going through hell. Even Europe is affecting everyone worldwide. So I just want to encourage everyone in Malawi. The government is doing their best. Okay, so don't blame it on them. It's not the government.
No. All right. Thank you so much. That was an expert from what's his name again? You remember his name? No, I All right, guys. As you can see, we talked about a little bit of economy and the devaluation. So those are his views. And if you have comments, remarks, please leave a comment and don't forget to subscribe. This is another episode of Reimagine on Podcast Malawi. Thank you so much. You've been with me, the usual guy, Bensam.
Dope. So we're still at the barber shop. I look than before because yeah, I'm the one and only Brandon Jones with Podcast Malawi, and we are here having conversation with people. And right now I'm with
Wanga.
Okay. I'm with Wanga. She's a poet. She's a female. She's a feminine female, isn't it? Are those your pronouns?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh wow, that's very well.
I have to be sure.
Okay.
I don't want to be cancelled, nigga. I don't want to be cancelled today. Not
too
today.
risky.
Yeah, it's very risky. Yeah, man. So what's happening in your head? What's going on?
I'm getting my dreadlocks crocheted.
So somebody said I'm getting my thing. I'm getting a twist and crochet. Are they two different things?
They are, because usually if you just get it twisted, like they don't use a crochet, they just twist them with gel, I think. And then if you're getting them crocheted, they use like a crochet to pull the hair out. This hurts more.
I can see.
twist doesn't
I can
hurt.
see your face. I can see your face. You're in pain, excruciating pain. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. So today we're just conversing. Nothing too serious, but serious. Also.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna start with the pressing issue at the moment. The Reserve Bank of Malawi announced the devaluation of kwacha by 44.4%, to be precise. What do you understand by this whole devaluation thing?
You just had to start with the most depressing things of all to discuss.
Let's go there.
I don't understand economics enough to say that I understand in depth what's going on.
Yeah.
From my understanding, it just means that there'll be inflation. Things are just going to get more expensive, and the kwacha is going to lose value at an international market, which just makes it more difficult to run anything really. And we've already been having Forex issues, and I just feel like it's about to get worse. So yeah, basically life's about to get worse. There's I think it's a meme that says I'm in the ghetto, ratata. Literally,
this is it.
This is it, in the ghetto, ratata.
Yeah, but you have a better explanation because before now, what I thought about my thoughts about devaluation were we're broke. That was it. We're broke, and actually I was right. We are broke.
I mean, we're broke, but the technicality, we have money. It just doesn't do much, I guess.
Broke.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it?
You
We're not
have
broke if we stay inside.
You have money that can't do much.
Yeah. Okay. You're right. We broke. We broke.
Broke. So as now, I want to ask you this question. It's gonna come more to you as a woman now. Does this inflation thing, devaluation thing, affect you as a woman? And to what extent does it affect you, if it does?
On like the overview of society in general, I think it affects, because for society in general, women are already like behind in the economy. People might not want to hire women first because she's going to have to take maternity leave at some point. Company loses money. So now if the company already doesn't have money, and then they know that when you work for them, there will be a period in your time where you're not going to be making the money, that also just, it makes it more difficult to give you a fighting chance in the economy to like get a job or just make money in general.
Do you have a job?
I do.
Are you afraid of losing that job?
No, not really. Maybe I'm a little too comfortable. That's not good.
I hope your boss is not watching.
I hope my boss is not watching.
I know your boss.
But my boss is a cool guy.
We say that.
He's a good guy.
I could say the same for my boss. You know.
Aren't
Yeah.
you your boss?
Technically, no.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it seems so.
Okay.
Am I my boss?
I guess technically.
Nah. I'm way below the food chain. I'm the ant of the thing. Okay, cool. Talking about finances in general, yeah. Would you think that even before now, yeah, because there's been a lot of theories around it. Maybe the guys at the top do not know what they're doing. It's a decision-making thing. Do you think we are to blame them, or this whole devaluation thing was inevitable in Malawi's instance?
Both. Both. Because as a leader, you're trusted with the well-being of your people.
Yeah.
Right? Even if something is inevitable, you know how your country is going. Even a heads up would have been more helpful. Like, it was going to suck still, but at least we were going to see it coming.
Yeah.
If it was something that was inevitable and they knew it was going to happen, give Malawians a heads up, like, guys, we broke. Like, we broke. I know you thought we were broke, but like, we broke.
Bottom broke.
So just so you guys know. So they are to blame to a certain extent, but there's also the idea, the world economy.
Yeah.
The world is moving towards everything being connected to each other. There's wars. There's a lot going on in the world that even if we're not directly involved, it will involve, like our economies will suffer. A lot of things that we do will suffer at the end of it. So some parts of it are because our leaders don't have control in it. But some parts of it, they could have done better. They could have done better.
Okay, so one of the things that you could suggest as a Malawian citizen?
A heads up.
Just that?
A heads up and say no also.
To what?
To the okay, so a lot of things, like the devaluation is because of how our currency holds at international markets, right?
Yeah.
Tell them no.
And
like
then what?
when they're like no, be like no. Because it's happened before where Malawi was like, we don't want to devalue our currency. I mean, it was an argument, but it did happen.
But
it gave us it didn't last forever.
Bought us time.
But exactly. So buy us time. Do whatever you can to buy us time.
And then what? Devalue.
In the time that you're buying us time, people are going to figure out plans.
Like what? Okay. Let's say, for example, we haven't devalued yet. We've been given a heads up. In the next month or so, we are devaluing. Tell me your plans.
You know what I would do personally?
Please.
This is very small scale and it doesn't help much. But I'm going to buy groceries and prepare beforehand. And at a bigger scale, it could be like, I don't know, the country could have bought more fuel reserves and keep them aside. Buy more fertilizer. Things that we know we're going to need from outside and are about to get more expensive because the kwacha has been devalued. Buy things, put them in reserve. Obviously, the country wouldn't have enough money to buy like for the next 10 years or whatever. But it would just be enough to give us a little bit of a push.
Okay. What if they did? What if they did up until when they were devaluing? Only that they didn't want us to know what was going on.
Sorry?
What if they already did? What if we were living in that pre-devaluation, pre-planned thing up until then, like up until now? One
thing about politicians that are in power, knowing that they want to do this again, they love attention. If that's what they did, they would have told us. They would have told us to make sure they look as good as possible. So the fact that they didn't say anything is they probably didn't. If they did, they would have told us. I strongly think they would have said something.
So what you're saying is they have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
They're lacking.
I mean, okay. Yeah, they were caught off. No, I wanted to say they were caught off guard, but that's a lie. Yeah. Leadership is hard.
It is.
Leadership
so
is hard.
We actually have to give these people props for the other things that they're doing.
No.
No.
Jeez. I'm a political scientist. So I understand that leadership is hard from the theoretical perspective. I understand that it's hard, but also as a leader, you know that it's hard, and you were put in that position to handle. You're basically like a buffer between people and the struggles.
And the struggle,
you signed up to take whatever is coming with leadership.
Yeah, you take the blow first before
Exactly.
the
So
people.
we will blame you. We will be upset because you said you were gonna take it. So
What are you doing?
do it.
I hear you. That started on a very high note. Let's go back a bit. Let's slow down. I want to talk about femininity now as a woman. What do you understand by the term femininity?
Femininity. Oh, I think it's. That was a tough question because for the longest time I was a tomboy.
Yeah.
I think I only caught up to like being feminine like 3 years ago, man.
Really? Were you full on tomboy or just tomboy?
Yeah.
Just
Except on Saturdays. I go to church on Saturdays. So on Saturdays, pull myself together.
and then be a girly girl.
I'm not trying to argue with my mother on my way to church.
Okay. Yeah.
But I think it's multidimensional. We can't really have a specific explanation of what femininity is, because it's like being human. I can't ask you what it means to be human, because what it means to you to be human is
different
to what it means to me to be human. So it's about being true to yourself, I guess, but it also comes with struggles of society where there's stereotypes. Like as a female, you're supposed to be soft in certain spaces, but then being soft doesn't always help as well. Like if you have to, for example, as a CEO, you have to make certain decisions. You can't always be soft about it.
Yeah, true.
You need to make very
harsh decisions.
And that's not always looked right on by. If you're a woman, you can't always be the person that's just harsh.
Yeah, you have to be
supposed to be soft
very
and nurturing and
nurturing and stuff. Yeah. Well,
so it's a very difficult thing. It's a murky pot of so many things that you have to be.
Okay.
So I think at the end of it, it's different. You just decide, you pick your struggles. Like if you decide you're going to be the very harsh female, do your thing, soft, do your thing, as long as you're not hurting anyone.
Yeah. So long as you're considering other people's feelings as well.
Sorry?
So long as you're considering other people's feelings as well.
Exactly.
At the end of the day.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. So now we know you talked about expectations from the society now. Do you ever feel pressed in being feminine, basing on the expectations of the society or people around you in general?
I did. There was a point where I did. But I feel like the older you get, or the more you discover who you are as a person, the more it stops to matter.
Yeah.
And maybe that's a perspective from a point of privilege where you're like, if I decide to be who I'm going to be, it's not going to affect anything else.
Yeah.
But then for certain people, when they're cornered in a position where if you decide who you want to be, it might affect how you're going to make a living, how you're going to get by your everyday life. So there is pressure. I'm delusional. I choose to not
look at it like
run
that.
with it.
Delulu chick.
Yeah,
Okay.
Delulu's a salulu.
Okay. So what from your view and what you've been through or what you've seen people go through because of femininity, what do we have to do as Malawians, as a society? What's the best solution to also cushion these people from this pressure that we are putting them under?
Empathy. I think that's what we need, to just have empathy, to understand that it's not always easy to live up to societal expectations. And the pressures don't only affect females. And I think once people consider that, it will become a lot easier, because it will be empathy for both, for men and women.
Well.
Because the unnecessary expectations now pressure men into being a certain way of masculine. Like, oh, you can't cry. That's silly. Like, what do you mean? Jesus wept. Are you stronger than Jesus?
Maybe.
That's wild. You want to die for everybody?
No, I don't want to die for nobody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's empathy to understand that people will be different. If the entire rainbow was one color, that would be so lame. It would be so boring.
It wouldn't
You
be a
need-
land word at all. Just be a dress.
But that's bland. Imagine all of us were wearing one color and everything in here was one color. It
Yeah.
sounds very bland.
Yeah, true.
So the differences in people's way of being feminine, their different personalities, a different touch they add to everything about them,
Yeah.
is what makes society
people.
great.
Okay, cool. Now, I want to touch on it's going to be quick. I want to touch on GBV, gender-based violence.
Yes.
Do you think expectations, also maybe beliefs from our society, are the causative agent of GBV?
Definitely.
Give me an example and just elaborate quick before we wrap up.
If in most cases, it's gender-based violence is done between people and their partners, and it's usually from the expectation of this is just an example, but if somebody speaks back to their partner, like you can't speak back to
you have to
gonna
be
hit you.
submissive.
Like you as a woman, you're supposed to be submissive. I'm the man, you listen to everything I say. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with submission. If people want to submit to their partners, that's a you thing. You know, you decide what you want to do.
Do you submit?
Hey, I said people.
Are you not a person though?
I said people. If people want to.
Okay.
I hope my boyfriend's not listening to this.
He's gonna watch.
But yeah, so people decide, and now when people don't decide to like submit in a certain way, you can respect somebody without listening to everything they say, because sometimes people will be wrong. And the expectation that you're supposed to submit and the man is the authority, and then when you question that authority, you're
Perceived as wrong.
a questionable woman. Like, why are you that kind of person? It contributes to GBV.
Yeah. Okay, cool. But very interesting text from you. Very bold. I hope your boyfriend is not watching it, because I wouldn't.
Actually, now I hope he was listening. I'd love to have this conversation with
him. Like,
Yeah.
for real. You've never had the time to talk about this.
I think we have, and we share similar sentiments. So now I want to have it again.
Okay. There you have it from Wanga. You're also a poet, I hear.
Yes, I am.
Oh, yeah? Are you dropping anything soon, or you've dropped?
I'm performing at Art in the Park tomorrow.
Oh, dope. Yeah. It's going on for 3 days, yeah?
Yeah.
Started yesterday?
Started yesterday.
Today, and then tomorrow. Oh, dope. Very best in your endeavors. And also, pull through to Podcast Malawi. Maybe we can, work something out.
I'd love that.
And then stop gossip, please. Please, okay?
Okay.
Thanks for your time. All right, we're still at the barber shop, and now I see colors are flying. Man United people are coming in. Yeah. I see 3. This guy, that guy, and Bruce Manyozo over there. I see you. Yeah, man. The one and only Brandon Jones, and I'm here with
Henry
Magombo. Dope. So Henry, Tidiba Maliro as Malawians. At the moment.
Okay.
The Reserve Bank of Malawi just announced the devaluation of kwacha, and a lot of people are crying, including myself. But in your understanding, what's devaluation and what's this going to do to us as people?
It's a big blow. In the first place, that's what I can say. I did agree. Wow.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's something that if maybe we sit down and then we try to analyze how things has been moving. I should say in the first place with the Maganizwanga.
Yeah.
Right? So first of all, I'm not an economist. I'm just someone who tries to follow things and then ndika understanding because sometimes there are books, right? There are books people have studied, but then there's common sense sometimes.
Yeah, true.
Where you be like,
true.
I feel like right? Because it's not all about what is in the book, but sometimes you
just apply the knowledge, background,
right?
Yeah.
So this, for me, it's coming as something what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
So my response to devaluation, I would tell you, I say, Brandon, right?
Yeah.
Kuti zinativuta kale kumalawi kuna se. Ndivese?
Yeah.
Kunongo zinativuta kale kwambiri.
Yeah.
And we are just building from that. Zindizote zinativuta
kale, yes.
Right? So yeah, devaluation for 4% is here. It's something that we were not expecting, but then it's here, right? It's very hard for everyone.
Yeah.
The other gentleman was saying, the poor are the ones who will be hit hard. But also, when you talk about the rich, these are the people that are in the business, right? And then it means also somewhere, my business, my loans and the like, it doesn't mean they will not be affected.
They will.
They will be affected.
Definitely.
So it affects everyone, right? Like you see, today devaluation, the next day fuel wagwera,
yeah.
and then the next day you went into you go into shops and then you find out right?
Yeah.
Like yesterday, I had to go to the closest superstore. But it was open, right?
People were not sure.
Right? Oh, okay. So stuff like that. But then, let's go back, right? I've said we were effed from way back.
From way back, yeah.
Right? We were effed from way back. But then, we have not learned, because ukapunzira, you sit down and you'll be like, okay, what can I do, to make things at least
for them
work,
to be better, yeah.
Right? So we look back, we see what is our economy like? Okay?
Yeah.
So you find out we don't sell. It's an economy that always takes in.
That's always
always takes in, right? So you are always affected by what is happening outside. Because you're just
taking in,
right?
Yeah.
So since we are not producing, we don't have something that supports our currency. My understanding, right? Because I feel like if we were able to produce, if we had a lot of stuff that we are selling out there, it means we are getting something. We are getting the dollar, right?
Yeah.
Which will help with the we're lacking currency because you're not selling. Okay, you're into your economy, right? Now, when you look back, and for me, I would tell you, it's not about this regime. Right?
Yeah.
It's not about this regime. It's not about even maybe the previous regime. It's not even about that other regime. So we are talking about Tons Alliance, DPP, PP, DPP, right?
Yeah.
But then, where are we starting it from? Okay? Look back, 1994, $1, one kwacha. Right?
Yeah.
Now, boom. We've got multi-party system and all that, and the new system, democracy, boom. Now, devaluation yamba kudani kumachitika kwacha chomwe bizote ikuluza mphamvu because there's a lot of things happening. You were producing makampani amene amapanga produce aja kulisa ena afa palibe management chanchani. You see, the impact is not felt at that time, right? So zikuchitika zimene zija makampani aja mukugulisa akufa. There's a generation that is coming in that will look for employment when the source of employment that was there is dying out. It's decreasing, right? Now, we're going at that trend. So we're not maintaining what we were doing to sell out there to keep the kwacha stable so that it can be balancing up with the US dollar and all that. We're not doing that. But what we are doing is we are not empowering the kwacha. So we're doing things that is supporting the kwacha to lose its value, which is buying. Kugulisa zima companies and all that. Also zibanga maintain kugulisa zienda. So look back, 1994, 2004, 5,000% devaluation. Right? 5,000%. Okay? So now you you come to look at it. Okay, good. Okay, I can tell you good Ivanova. Tima uwa kwambiri mwina because first of all, takuzindigira, right?
Yeah.
Second thing, technology, right? You wake up today, move as into Chani. The poor decisions, the poor appointments, and all that. This has been happening even from 1994 and from way back. You know, my decisions were poor. Good appointment is on.
Yeah, in the branch. Yeah.
You see, when you look back, because there was no like Facebook, internet, and they like be like, oh, Asanka would be like, this nigga.
So in the branch.
Right? But then at that time there was no platforms where you could share your like views and all that. Bases, and the government would walk away with that. You know, some other decisions, my ministry na mango badwa ndikupedwa and all that. Today they wake up, they join this ministry and this ministry, and then the other day they wake up, they disband them. It was a department, and then all that. You see, so all that DPP being okay. So pamene vonde kuti 2004 kwa jasiri ba 1-1, right? Yapita kale zimene tikugulisa sizili monga mwakale, right? So there's climate change that has affected our fields in terms of like agriculture and all that, right? So the guy came in wayambochita zinthu zimene mwina zikhozothandizira ziwiri zitatu, but at the same time zinthu sikuti zikusinthabe, zinthu zikukwerabe, right? 8 years tadusa DPP 400% devaluation kwa jasiri mmene anaipezera yasuntaso, right? And every time kwa cheka masinta there's always outliers. So it has always been there, right? So to summarize, I'll tell you Nena Ngudi, it's because we have not been able to support our currency to be able to mark supportive. We've not been able to do that. So we haven't been producing enough. We haven't been we haven't employed things that will be able to support the kwacha. We haven't invested in manufacturing. So right now we import everything, toothpicks, my earbuds, right? So $1 that could have helped kuchita jina jake kuno takagulira my earbud, takagulira my toothpick, right? Sometimes I come to think of okay, my guy amene amapanga majeswa jode sanga bange zotokosera mano ntengo wake somweyo.
You know, it's crazy. It's really crazy.
And you sit down and you think zimamveka so kuti those kind of materials ndiuzi aliko kunoko, right? So we can do that, but we have not done that, right? So we've not invested in manufacturing. We've got like a whole mineral sector that we haven't capitalized on, right? It has been owned by individuals, right? Mandela was here. He talked about that stuff, right? It's in our constitution, my laws, stuff like that, right? So you see, we haven't done anything, right? So if you didn't remember, harmful. Year in, year out, it keeps losing power. Year in, year out, it keeps losing power. You are doing nothing. So what do you expect to happen?
Devaluation.
It loses power because you're not supporting it. So if in 2005 or 2010 or 2012, 2013, we've had like some other investments that maybe in 5, 6, 7 years could materialize into something. Right? If this thing of like mega farms and the like, it was something that was done like in 2010, 2007, 2004, right? We are reaping from that. We're able to produce and we are selling.
We're selling outright,
right? We're able, I say, if you go to Malawi investment, those guys, Amasaka Misiga, right? You go there, you find out that there are tons and tons of produce that are needed by the global market. Zimene zozo kunoko we are able to produce. Kunoko able to produce all that, but nobody is producing that. right? Nobody's producing.
Sinava so tinaluza contract nake kaendelea ku Dubai for we were not producing enough.
I say ma contract aliwa mbili pano pa fans imatopeza contract to supply kanda ndolo 10,000 metric tons. Contract jaibwera. People from Brazil, people from China, people from India will be like, okay, we need 10,000 metric tons of 10%. You go out down there on the ground and how many aliman chan. They only money 2,000 metric tons. There's already a market out there, right?
Yeah.
So you go there, you find the, I say, valuable commodities. We're not talking about men's.
Yeah.
Right? We're not talking about men's. We're talking about my commodities. They sell like a couple of dollars per kg. Right?
Yeah.
And how you know it's proved? What are you going to give us that? Komano, that is not happening on the ground. How can we stabilize the economy?
Gosh. So, okay. Now, since we are men, we are perceived as leaders, not only but also in our families. And this devaluation comes in.
Yeah.
How can you say it has hit you as a man, as a leader in your household, personally? How has it affected you? Just make it brief.
Okay, all right. So it's hard, man. It's hard. It's hard, like, because kandrama kamene kama pesa kakaja ndekuti kakudani mphamvu yake achepa ndekuti pa nyumba. So as a man, I need to make sure that I look into some ways that I'll be able to make sure that I'm able to support my family.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But it's something that needs some kind of courage. We need to show our masculinity as men.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So it needs some courage, some kind of leadership. You need to be able to control the house. And then what I always encourage, right? It's I this is something that I do in my household. Like, it's a team, man. Me and my wife were a team. Right? So we need to sit down and be like, okay, I say the meneza kalira wano tipange banji. Let's try to manage our finances well. This is something that couples, not just like men, but couples, men need to sit the household down and then be like, okay, to survive in this situation. So we need to show our leadership. We need to be supportive to our families, our partners, so that we are able to cope up with the situation, right? And I'm sure it's gonna affect people in different ways. It's gonna, because and mentally we should expect a lot of mental issues after all these things. In within all these things, we should expect people losing it, right? So it has to do with all different kind of things, man. So we should expect that. Bad. We need families to be supportive. We need wives to be supportive to their husbands, right? We need to fight as a team, because it's not just about us being men, but also we kind of need support. But we need to show our leadership. We need to be courageous enough to look into things that we can do as men, so that we are able to sustain the households. So
it is what it is.
Yeah.
Being so, Men's Mental Health Awareness Month.
Sorry?
The month of November is the Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. I think what you've said has also touched a lot of issues around mental health. So
we have to learn to be open, not just to everyone, but
to the
right people. Okay, and it starts from within the house. Right?
Facts,
I don't think I have to pretend to my wife that
everything
I'm
is
someone
fine
else when I'm not. Because it will raise the expectation. So whenever she demands something and I'm not able to support, it will affect me. I will see myself as a failure.
What's going on?
So
with this guy?
I have to be open to my wife. Man, this is what
I'm getting.
This is what we have. So we have to make sure that we maneuver through these resources, right, man? So even going out there, like at workplaces, like Malawi, we need to have conversations that will help each other. Right. We need to spark conversations that are gonna like help us come up with ideas or like just encourage each other.
Yeah.
Right. We should not lose it. We should just
Stay strong and go on.
What is it?
Man.
No, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be all that, but then we really we
We're
still
going
need
to go
to
through.
move
Yeah,
on.
we're going to go through it.
Hey,
Yeah.
life has to still
Go
move
on. Yeah.
Right. So
Man, thank you very much for your time. And I can see that the team did a very good
Oh, yeah.
job on your hair.
Oh, yeah.
Like, dope. Amazing.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
man,
You
that-
can say that again.
You can say that again. So it's been that with this guy,
Yeah.
Henry.
Henry.
Very insightful, very thought-provoking. And we're still here at the barbershop talking to people, different takes on various very major issues that are going on in Malawi. And yeah, man, thanks again for taking time. Thank you, man.
Following the podcast,
Oh,
we're
yeah.
loving it.
Damn, subscribe.
We're right there.
cool.
Dennis.
Hey, Ben. Okay, I'm listening to you guys chat, and in this scenario, yeah, Slim.
Hey.
I don't know what year was that. Anagula galimoto ina yake. What year was that? 2020. Anagula galimoto itangobwera kumene. I don't know if inaliso ataita panga register, ngala napanga register, inali angwangwe panga register kumene. Ankachokera koyenda munthu oti samomwe koma unali kumanyaudings ndiyoti iye mwina kuyendetsa azinzi zake chanchani around pabwandiro paja adawa anapanga ngozi asewa gamoti wangogula kumene and he's in the creative industry so kuti ndalama zake zimangobwera kuti ali ndi dola yoseweretsa yayo. I want to take you back, Slim, but how manage when that happened. Ozoti pachitika ngozi I don't know kuti condition yake inali yotani ya galimoto yo kometa inyamuno kuti wakafika kwanu. What was going on into your mind and ukayoganiza nthawi imene yoyo, how did you cope with everything that followed? With okay, you have spent your money wagula galimoto and this happened
and all of a sudden you have a huge loss
and when kupamakaso ndawo makosta anyuani oti upange inka, and that's a big financial challenge that you went into. Can you explain how you actually dealt with that?
Maybe we need to do a little bit of a backstory about him. Maybe a lot of people don't know that he's a dedicated graphics designer, an IT specialist. Am I right?
Graphic design. And he has got one of the most happening brands, actually, right?
Yes, the Slim brand.
I'm into graphics.
Graphics and printing, is it? Yeah, you're into graphics and printing. I think he's also my go-to person when I need to make banners.
Everything I
posters.
do, everything I print, even if you plug a design, I reimagine it.
Yes.
He's the one who prints those.
Ineso nimangofunga tu ma message amwene funga ni quotation.
Anytime.
Ngojiva masaizi jani tiji basa masaizi. I don't have to go there. I'll send my PDF.
You told me come pick it home or ndikubweretsera.
Same way ineso meno abangira.
Zina of course singa kambe pagulu but ndi pagulu pano zimene amaprintira.
Printers on that.
Yeah. Let's go to that story now.
Yes.
Tell us what happened and how did you recover, if you have ever recovered?
It was so hard. It was so hard. Come on, being down to all wander around you. Zimakabe is up, right? That time I remember when they a week. This is Covid ujani. Vape. Come on, go to that program for po ujani kine yose. Come on, it was so hard. But as time goes, na biziko ndubanga be yani ndubanga be recover ndubanga heal.
Once now then how long would you ujivomeleze kufika kuti guys ndaluza galimoto zimachitika, let me move on with life. How long did it take you to have that acceptance?
Some months, maybe.
It took you months to accept that you have lost a car which you saved so much for.
Some months, close to a year.
How much did you save to get that car?
Devaluation,
it was close to 5 million.
So with your nature of work, now how long?
Couldn't recover that
to save that money and buy a car?
As nothing,
probably a year.
Yeah.
So you set for a year, and in less than 2 weeks, boom. Wabangangozi. Mwele kumanyao dings, my boys. Yeah, third part so gari.
Third part, I'm in a comprehensive in the city.
Simma banga now.
City mountain. Right, so it took about 11 months.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Okay. So is there something you learned from that experience? In your life?
Yeah. Like panopo kuti ndikamaendesa galimoto makhala more careful kwambiri. Suti sindingapange songozi ere koma makhala more careful.
Let's say utakatwa songozi. Do you think you experienced the same pain you had that entire minute?
It can even be more than that.
It will be more painful.
Yeah.
I don't understand. Dennis,
Yeah?
let's say nkazi wakupanga ni heartbreak lelo. Ukazagwira so nkazi wina. Do you experience the same heartbreak?
When you're going kumeko komakhala kuti you expect something.
You have healed and you're expecting better results moving forward. Ndinaphunzirako pajaba. I'm not gonna make the same mistake again.
Yeah.
So when that happens, I think anyway, it also just depends on Yeah, I know for some people it'd be like, I've got experience of this, so I mean, they're going there because they feel I've learned I can do better, and if the better doesn't happen, it breaks them even more.
Right. So I want to talk about the economy right now. In the past 2-3 days, I think the bank experienced devaluation. What is your take on that? Do you think it's a good move or do you think it's a tough move?
No, it's not a good move.
You think it's not a good move? Why do you think so?
Okay, like I said, ndimagwira kujina printing.
Yes.
Ndekuti apo it's like mirengo ija tinakupasana ija chili chose chitani
Chigwele.
koma ono makhala move chakuti sichingakwere ndi kupangira ndi kuti tisaluze makastoma. Let's say apa si ujene apanga ndi 44%.
Yes.
Ife sitikuyeneka tipange
Majoncho
maintain
mo.
imene. Timeneka be tipange be at least ka 30% or 35% kuti tisaluze makastoma. So in so doing, material so this is a be pa less 30%. This is be pa 44%. So it's a big blow.
For example, antena makapanga for example ngati sobo na ijama 4,000
4,000
pano pali pa 8,000.
8,000.
So do you think antena ape zekoti mwina asiya kumamwa sobo chifukwa ngini asinta kapena azikhala za bobo?
Okay. Ena asiya ena dazi banga. Timozi mowa. Mowa sura kaubweza ena ndekura makhaura asiya wewe. Koma khabe antena ake bera matani, amakhabe urani. Akumwa be mowa izo. Okay. So
if you had to compare rich people and poor people, who do you think are going to be most affected by this?
Poor people.
Why?
Muntu wakumudzi tingoyerekeza muntu wakumudzi. Mene okay, nganene kuti yani ngaforokoza motani. Their way of living. Abasuri makhala kuti okay, yasintha, it's even worse novo. Kozo kungoyambira ndekuti majesi aramagula let's say ka 10 kwaja saza kugula so 10 kwaja.
Komanso let's say waja amagulisa mandasi kuti azakasamena bakomba nengati ndasi amagulisa 100 kwaja pano bagulisa 150. Si yango banga just bas
No, but then the thing is flour
yono amakhala
so
wadulano
their
even
capital is
mina triple than ndimena amagulirano ntemene yoyo.
So it automatically affects the capital, isn't it?
Yeah.
As much as all the sentence.
At the end of the day, ali samafuna bese be.
And all agula mandasi. Ngati yeye amajosa pa 500 wayota kagule ko mandasi. That budget changes now because the earning power yake ndio tsika. Probably asiya kugula mandasi aja because yakona kuti buna kagule ncheri kapena sugar than kagule mandasi.
Olombata.
That olombata.
And so zavanga affect my areas ambiri.
So anyway, brother, I know you're about to finish your haircut. It was good to have a chat with you. This is Slim. He's a graphic designer. He has a brand Slim. And I don't know why I don't have one of his t-shirts, but I'm looking forward to it.
No, actually, my idea, Eugenie, it was slim.
Yes.
It was just a name.